at the starting grid here at Kerpen. So, pole position secured by Noah Janssen earlier on today, ahead of Arjen Kreling, who joins the number 31 on the front row. Gabriel Hofmann in the 95 and Carlos Nees in the number 15. That is row number 2. Row 3 is the number 12 of Nicolas Casarino and the number 19 of Len Abbas. Row 4 is the number 27 of Christos Malakos and the number 17 of Max Moore, with Tim Steger in the 55 and Leon Blaskowitz in the number 18, rounding out the top 10. Leopold Jouch and Jolina Marie Schultz rounds out the top 12. So they've just done their sighting lap and they will go on to a formation lap. So 7 minutes on the clock, plus 1 lap for both heats. This is for micro, mini and junior road tax. 10 minutes for plus 1 lap for all other classes. So now start getting into formation ahead of their first race of the weekend. It's about having a textbook start. So we do wait with bated breath for these drivers to get themselves steeled and ready for racing. The sunshine beats down on Kerpen, so our Micromax drivers are ready. We're ready. We hope you're all at home watching are ready as well. So through the final left-hander come the Micromax field. In to the tram lines for the first time of asking, are we ready? Well, the revs rise, the lights go out, we are off and racing, and it's a good start already by Noah Janssen. Arjen Kreling looks to have dropped down a couple of positions, maybe to second, maybe even fourth, as Noah Janssen nearly trips over himself going through turn 2 for the first time. Into the next left-hander at 3. Janssen keeps ahead. Gabriel Hofmann has already made it up into P2. Got a great start. Kreling was on the outside going through across the start-finish line, and Hofmann now pressurising Janssen. The youngster in the 95 really showing good credence here. Looks like that's Nicolas Casarino. It is now up into P3, I believe. Arjen Kreling rounds out the top 4 as they hurtle their way through the final sector on the lap to complete the first one. 6 minutes and 10 seconds plus an additional lap still to go. Noah Janssen leads, but by absolutely nothing. 10th and a half between him and Gabriel Hofmann, but Hofmann is really getting on the offensive very quickly indeed, looking to get past Janssen. Now, Janssen has been under the kibosh at some points during this season, but Casarino up the inside and has gotten past Hofmann to take P2 on lap 2 of the race. That was a steely drive from the youngster in the number 12. My goodness me. And it was all because of the fact that Hofmann was trying to fight his way past Janssen. Hofmann looks up the inside. This is through the sweeping S's. Brings them on to the back part of the circuit, but a great drive by all of these competitors so far. It has been nip and tuck at the moment, but Noah Janssen continues to lead the way. Nicolas Casarino and Gabriel Hofmann now entrenched in this three-way scrap. Arjen Kreling in 4th place as they cross the line to complete lap number 2. And Casarino looking up the inside of Hofmann, whilst, not of Hofmann, of Janssen, whilst looking over his right shoulder to see where Hofmann was. That's a bit of multitasking right there. But Noah Janssen keeping a lead of just over 1/10 of a second after what is 2 laps of racing. We're on to lap number 3 as they go through the twisty stuff once again. Janssen has been pretty formidable so far this season. There have been a couple of times when we've seen a few chinks in the armour. However, Janssen needs to put himself in the prime position for the Wittgenborn finale in early October, but Hoffmann, went up close and personal to Nicolas Casarino and just literally stumbled right there, opened the door well and truly for Arjen Kreiling to close on in, but Arjen Kreiling now being gestured to by Gabriel Hoffmann there to try and catch up with the two leaders. Nicolas Casarino is about 2/10 or so behind Noah Janssen, but there's a bit of a vast expanse between Casarino and Hoffmann, which is to the tune of nearly a second. Kreiling rounds out the top four. Christos Malakos in fifth. Carlos Nies down in sixth. Ahead of Len Abbas, Tim Stiger, Max Moore, Jolina Marie Schultz now up into P10. Leon Blaskovic down in 10th position. 11th position ahead of Leopold Jouch as the leaders come across the line. There's a three-way scrap that is between Malakos, Nies and Abbas. That is for fifth on the road, and that's a great little switchback from Len Abbas, or was that Carlos Nies? I'm not 100% sure because the liveries are very similar. They come through, and that is Len Abbas that is now up into P6 ahead of Carlos Nies. Oh, Janssen at the moment pulling away from Nicolas Casarino. There has been a change because that is Carlos Nies that actually got past Len Abbas, now has got past Christos Malakos. So Carlos Nies now fighting tooth and nail to keep a hold of fifth position. The battle at the front of the field continues onward. Carlos Nies has now started pulling away from Christos Malakos. There's Gabriel Hoffmann starting to close in on Nicolas Casarino. Casarino now nearly a second behind Noah Janssen, who's setting fastest lap after fastest lap, 52.051 seconds from the number 31, who continues to lead. So we're now on to lap number 6. 2.25 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Noah Janssen looking rather favourable in terms of his prowess so far this season, and has continued to do so. Gabriel Hoffmann now has a little bit of a gap between himself and Arjen Kreiling, to the tune of about 2/10. There's the battle for fifth position. Carlos Nies looks over the left shoulder to see where Christos Malakos and Len Abbas are in terms of proximity. So go through the very slight chicane, and when I mean slight, you can literally straight line that chicane going through into the final left-hander. So Nicolas Casarino is dropping further away. 1.2 seconds is the gap between him and Noah Janssen, but here comes the pairing of Hoffmann and Kreiling closing in on the number 12 for what is second. It could be second and third depending on how quickly they pounce past the number 12 on the Praga chassis. Through into the sweeping S's once again they go. Line taken there by Arjen Kreiling. That was a bit circumspect if my memory escapes me right there. But it has been rather... hasn't been processional. I think there's always an element of procession in racing, but you do get some great battles like we're seeing here at the moment, because now, look at the gap. It's about 2 to 3 kart lengths between Nicolas Casarino and Gabriel Hoffmann. Hoffmann looking towards the outside. Now, this is going into the hairpin. This could have opened the door for Arjen Kreiling, but on that particular occasion, Hoffmann keeps it pinned. But there is Christos Malakos, who has now dropped a little bit further behind Carlos Nies. But in the meantime, the hurry-up has happened. That's a great move there. What a job of an overtake done by, of all people, Gabriel Hoffmann. That was perfection right there. Just knew where Casarino was going to take a slightly different line. Here comes Len Abbas on what will be Christos Malakos in the battle for sixth position, because now Carlos Nies has now gotten away and Hoffmann now has to start defending. Final lap board is out, and the gap between first and second is just under 2 seconds itself. Hoffmann goes into the hairpin ahead of Nicolas Casarino. Casarino was looking to one side and then to the other. However, Hoffmann is keeping it on the defensive. Into the sweeping S's once again we go. Some off camber here in some points, you know, a little bit of left hand down camber, a little bit of right hand down camber. You can just see how quickly they are on to round the final part of the circuit. But realistically, no one, whilst they've been squabbling away, Noah Janssen has just gotten on with business and gotten away with it. So through the final corner comes Noah Janssen and will take the checkered flag and win the first heat of the day. We've got 12 races, including this one that's just been completed. Gabriel Hoffmann holds on to second ahead of Niklas Casarino by just over 0.12 of a second. Gabriel Hoffmann records the fastest lap of 52.004. Arjen Kreling completes the top 4 ahead of Carlos Nees. Christos Malakos in 6 holds on to that position by just over a tenth ahead of Len Abbas in the number 19. Tim Steiger takes 8th ahead of Max Moore with Jolina Marie Schulz in 10th. Leopold Jouch rounds out the top 11 and Leon Blaskovic rounds out the top 12. But Noah Janssen again victorious and managed to keep the likes of Casarino and Hoffmann at bay to take the victory. So Janssen wins the first heat, as we'll see Micromax a little bit later on.